daughters, as a matter of fact. One of my twin daughters just turned 25, had a baby tooth that didn't come out. So our normal dentist put a crown on it. Now she's the tree hugger, one of the tree huggers, environmentalists and all, very conscientious about all this. She's flossing away, what do you think she did? Popped the crown off. So we tried to find her a dentist. There was one dentist up around Boston, but it was like, well, you know, it's a baby tooth. So I had to come back to go to the oral surgeon I went to, who's participating, but they don't do implant. You know, of course they don't do implants, but we're getting it at the reduced rate because they're participating. So she was back and had the tooth out, had the bone graft done on Saturday. We'll be back in 10 weeks to get the implant, and then whatever. But I finally understand bone grafts. So somebody else understands bone grafts, huh? I never understood why do you have to have a bone graft, but the way they described it was, and I had no conception of what they were actually doing. I figured they took a piece of bone, they stuck it in my jaw, taped it in, but what it is it's powdered like sand. And they put it in the opening, and then wait 10 weeks for your jaw will heal around it, make a platform now for the implant, so they can put a bigger, stronger implant in. So it's like, I learned something new. And I did it before noon, so I enjoyed myself the rest of the day. Right? My motto is you should learn something new every day. Right? And you should learn it as early as possible. Because once you learn that one new thing for the day, you're done. And you can coast. The days I don't learn anything new till 8:30 at night, I sleep like a baby. So that's dental. The chapter doesn't have the resources yet to provide a meaningful supplement for dental. Dental is very expensive. Dental is the one area, or one of the areas now, where there's limited coverage for it. The average dental benefit provided in the outside world is like $1,500 a year. $1,500 a year won't cover one implant. You know? So, you know, the last time we looked, they could maybe provide $10 a crown, but it would have cost $5 to get the data and process it. So we told them, why don't you put the money somewhere else? Which they did. Okay, so for optical, we continue. You get a voucher every 12 months. Now, somebody's going to say, how come I don't get a free exam anymore? Right? You don't get a free exam anymore because the optical providers didn't do what they were supposed to do. And it was costing us too much. So, the Welfare Fund provides a $100 once a year benefit. Members of the retiree chapter now get $65 on top of that. The optical network saw that money. Aha! More glasses. So they said, how about we give your members 3 times the cash value in the second pair of glasses if they get them at the same time they use the welfare fund. We said, fine, right? You used to get 2 vouchers from us, right? You got one that was gray and one that was green. So the green one was the second pair. And we said, fine, but what you got to do is send them both back in the same packet. Because we'll see that Doug Hathaway spent $500 for a pair of glasses, God help us. I still can't see. But I paid $500 for my glasses, and okay, well, he's entitled to this extra money. I don't see a second pair voucher, give him the $65. Guess what showed up 2 months later? The voucher for the second pair of glasses. So I contractually have to give them the $65. Now what do? I've paid them twice. Mr. Brodsky is your friend. He wouldn't let me go after you for the $65. Ernie Logan wouldn't let me go after the active members for the $65, so we were paying double. We brought them all in, said, you can't do this. For like 1 to 2 months they behaved, and then it was back to the old way. You know, so the time it took to go through and do all of this We run lean. We have 12 people plus me. 4 of them are in finance. The other 8 do claims processing. And it was taking 1.5 people to administer optical, which is a relatively small expense. So that's why we said we can't do this. We bumped it up to $100 for everybody. Get an exam. You're going to pay for the refraction anyway. So go to an ophthalmologist who's participating in your health plan. Tell him you got dry eye, or whatever. They'll get the exam. You'll get it as a participating copay. You'll pay the $20 or whatever, and then you can go and get your glasses. So that's why we don't do participating anymore. Now, on the other side, this now opens you up to where you can go and make your best deal anywhere. You can go to Costco. These are Costco glasses. My second pair. They're just like the other pair. Because the first pair, about every 2 years, there's enough of a change or they get scratched. So I went back a year ago, and I didn't have any frames I liked. And they said, well, for $20, we'll put our lenses in the frames you give us. So I found the exact same frame online. It took me 3 weeks to get it from California. I went in, and they said, oh, well, since we've used this frame before, there's no $20. So I just paid for the lenses. The best deal at Costco, best deal, is a lens cleaning solution. Right? You stand there, and they got the card with two tubes, a couple of screwdrivers and the wipes, right? And when I first went there, next to it was, well, if you remember the old, like, drugstores that have soda fountains and all, and they had the bubbler with the orange drink and the lemon drink, well, there was a bubble, and it wasn't bubbling, it was there with the clear liquid. I said, what the hell is that? They go, that's lens cleaning fluid. When you empty the bottle, come back and refill it. No charge. Well, they did away with that, but my wife has gone a couple of times. She said, I got an empty bottle. They take off the top, put my sprayer back on, say, here you go. So it's unlimited lifetime supply of lens cleaning fluid. Also, and I swear I'm not getting money from Costco. But the one we go to in Melville, there's a guy there, jeans, t-shirt, I think his name is Chris. And he's always there, he's very knowledgeable. We went there the first time with my wife, she found frames she liked. She put them on, he said, you don't want those. She goes, why? I like them. No, he says, your eyes are a little bit close to your nose. And with these frames, what people are going to see is lens, eyes, nose. You want something a little closer in so it doesn't accentuate the difference. Nobody in Cohen's or General Vision or anywhere, Sterling, ever said anything like that to her. They just said, why don't you go get this $500 pair of frames? You don't want the $300, you want the $500, right? So that's what, yes?
I recently had an appointment with my eye doctor, so before I even walked in the door, you get the forms or whatever, and if I didn't want my pupils dilated, it was going to cost me $40, well worth the money, I took it. Then I get another form that said, in the event that you need a prescription, it'll cost you another $45.
Yep, that's refraction. Nobody pays for refraction.
But this is the first time this has ever happened to me.
Well,
I literally turned the place inside out. I said, you can't be serious. So if I need glasses, I could be. I said, if I need glasses, you're going to charge me $45 to hand me a piece of paper that's coming out of your printer. And I went into the eye doctor, I argued with him, and the bottom line is, luckily my prescription didn't change. Yeah, I can't.
No.
My prescription didn't change. I came home, I called Emblem Health, I called everybody.
No, nobody pays for refraction.
But since when?
You must have had a nice eye doctor.
No, it was the same guy.
Yeah. Maybe the billing people told him he couldn't give it away anymore or whatever. But the ones I've gone to have always done that. And it's $50 a visit for a refraction. So when you have 3 children that need eyeglasses and a wife and a spouse, that's $250 just the refraction.
Well, we went, my husband and I, so it cost us not 180 without the prescription. We didn't
Right.
take, because neither one of us needed it.
Right.
But, you know, when I came home and I complained to Emblem Health about this, I said, I don't understand. If I have to get glasses, what am I supposed to do? She said, you're going back and you're giving your doctor $45.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
nobody
if
seems to
if
be
you're only
surprised,
paying
like, it's just
45,
me.
if you're only paying 45, let me know who it is.
Yeah.
Because mine's up to 55 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so I owe Dr. Cooper an apology.
So they do charge.
But they do charge for refraction. Yeah.
What's a refraction?
Refraction is when they measure you for the lenses. They call it refraction. Why? I don't know. Maybe that was what Ben Franklin called it. Who knows? But they call it refraction, and that's measuring you for the lenses. Now, you can go to an optician, and they'll give a cursory exam and do it as part of the exam, but you're still paying for that. Personally, I prefer an ophthalmologist. I prefer an ophthalmologist because that way, if there is a problem, I know that he's the one who can do the surgery. Whatever. I go into him once a year. As a diabetic, I have to do this. I go in once a year. And every year I go in to see him, he takes a look and says, your cataracts are ripening, but they're not ready to be harvested yet. And they say, good, let's keep them that way until I'm on Medicare, so I know Medicare can pay for them and not me.
How far back would go get reimbursed, like cataract surgery? It was done a few years ago.
Well, this is laser vision. This
Right.
isn't cataract.
Well, I mean laser.
No,
No, below multifocal
Yeah, we
lens.
can go back a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's what you have. So we have the optical voucher and the chapter kicks in. Again, this happens automatically. You'll get a check from the welfare fund for $100. The end of that month, you'll get another check from the chapter if you're a chapter member for $65. Nothing else to ask for. It just automatically shows up one day. We provide support once in a lifetime for visual aid machines or devices. The original idea was a magnifier. Original visual aid machines were like the old style CRT computers. And you put the page under it and move it around and it blew it up so you could read it. My mother had the family macular degeneration and my brother was staying there and working. And she would let my brother write the check, but she wouldn't let him sign it. So she was signing it using a vision aid machine, which was kind of funny to watch. May God strike me dead. But it was there. Laser vision correction, the LASIK surgery. We'll pay $500 once in a lifetime for this.
Is there a specific form to be filled out?
Yeah, there's just a simple voucher. If you need